So here we are in the live scene on the daily time frame of Bitcoin on Coinbase, as we are wont to do, as we always begin our analysis. A couple of interesting things happening over the weekend. Again, opinions on whether to trade over the weekend or not are kind of mixed. That's going to depend on your own personal preference. Let's just look at the technicals. Let's see at what the chart is saying to us today. Price currently trading a little bit under 8,800, right around 8,750. Again, had a nice run up, especially we can see this on the 4-hour time frame right here. Had a very nice run up pretty much for the last, I don't want to say last 36 hours or so, giving some nice, about a 5% movement to the upside, a little bit more if you measure from peak to trough, then it's closer to 6. But overall, if we look at where we closed last week compared to where we opened this week, prior to the New York Open, again, up about 5%. So the 4-hour here is pretty healthy, pretty strong, putting in an indecision candle on the 4-hour right now. But of course, we won't know until that closes. It's got about 2 hours until that happens. But here on the daily time frame, we are about 6 hours away from decision time on the daily. And we have a few things that can happen. If we close directly where we're at, then nothing needs to be done as far as me. This is a no trade zone. We are closing in channel of my baseline indicator. This indicates to me that I should not be doing anything right now because this is the interim, this is the median zone in between bullish and bearish, essentially on top of other factors as well. But the Monday Open can often be decisive for what occurs the next week. But as a patient trader, we'll wait for confirmation, wait for the bullish trend to be resumed before we hop into anything. We did get the exit signal on yesterday's daily close. Nice erect, unshaven candle pretty much to the upside here, about a 3.22% open to close percentage there. That was the candle that opened up on Saturday evening for me because I'm based in the central time zone and closed Sunday evening for me. And then of course we have the opening of the regular markets, the CME futures pushing price to the upside here. Now we'll take a look at the CME markets here in just a little bit. But again, on the daily, as I said, currently trading at about 87.50 within channel. So what do we need to see? We need to see a few things. We actually need to get a close, not only above 88.26, not only above the upper boundary of our baseline, but because we did flip to the downside right over here on this candle. This was the candle that closed and violated the downside trade. We actually are going to need to close above 88.93. We're going to need to flip the indicator to the upside to get that good initiation to the upside. Looking right now to be taking price to the mid 9,000s, potentially low 10,000s if we do get that signal. Right now, we're just kind of in the interim zone. Again, there is a potential trade right here on the table that I'm going to be looking at with the analyst team, and that is germane to the recent module that was published to the premium drive, the recent PTP the recent PTP lesson plan here, which is a reversal baseline bounce. That is a situation, this is a scenario that could call for something like that. We'll look at that here in just a little bit. But again, you guys can see that we are trading in channel. And the very nice thing about reversal baseline bounces is the risk management that they present to us. Because again, if we close outside of channel, if we close above channel here in this situation, that trade will be invalidated. And since we position size and strategize for a trade with a looser stop than that, then that allows us to actually incur a very small dollar loss should that trade be invalidated. Now, we're going to have to take a look and make sure that that is confirmed today on the daily when we actually do end up closing. But we'll give you guys an update on that tomorrow as far as which direction we trade in. But for me, looking at Bitcoin on the daily, that's the only trade that I would have. Currently, with the way, since my indicator is flipped to the downside, I do have to have a directional bias to the downside to take price to the downside. I also have to look at overall the consolidation period that we're coming out of. That informs my directional bias as well. But of course, overall, we just trust the system. We just trust the algorithm as it has been built.